Heir states that it's impossible for him to become the blood demon god. On the contrary, the fake blood demon is using a reverse blood technique as a last resort. The blood demon says that he will absorb Heir and become the blood demon god. Heir tells him to try if he can. The blood demon goes to attack, but Heir blocks it, saying that his attacks are way too predictable because trying to crush an opponent with greater internal energy is a common tactic. The blood demon shouts, telling Heir not to get so cocky because his internal energy surpasses 2 hands, and he starts using blood absorption to absorb Heir's powers. The half-baked blood demon thinks that, for over 20 years, he has been worshipped as the blood demon, absorbing the blood of tens of thousands. He doesn't know how Heir nullified all his attacks, but he predicts that Heir won't be able to withstand his internal power amplified by reverse blood. He laughs, wondering that it's his perfect victory. You won't be able to withstand my internal power amplified by reverse blood. You're thinking something like that, aren't you? Heir asks. The blood demon gets shocked to even think about how can a person talk so calmly during an internal energy struggle that demands full concentration. Heir explains that in a typical internal energy struggle, it's about burning a person's inner strength to suppress his opponent, and the amount of energy matters most. But with blood demon absorption, the amount doesn't matter. Because Heir absorbs, but he doesn't burn, and the key to it is control. While realizing a tremendous amount of mana, he says that he will show him how it is done. Heir starts to use blood absorption, and it immediately drains the blood demon's internal energy. In fact, it was completely absorbed by Heir. Meanwhile, the fake blood demon enters Heir's consciousness and meets an entity. In a matter of seconds, he falls down as he realizes that it is the great blood demon. Heir notices that the blood he absorbed is full of impurities, so he starts to discard what's useless and takes what he needs. Lastly, he gathers the power in his dantian. He reaches the pinnacle of true blood, hence the completion of the blood demon arts. Both Yunha and the chairman are shocked to witness the transformation in front of their eyes. The left protector thinks that he took a gamble, and it was merely a gamble by supporting the other side. The current blood sect needed to change. Even with the advent of the blood demon, there was no future for the stagnant, rotting blood sect. That's why he sided with the other party. Even if defeat was certain, there was hope that the blood sect would awaken anew through his and their sacrifice. The person lying in front of him is Baek Subi-ok, the first in several generations to inherit and master the ultimate blood demon art. And yet, he was defeated without accomplishing anything. What's more, in his final moments, he acknowledged the new blood demon and fell. He firstly calls Yunha by Miss, then he changes it to Priestess. He asks her whether she anticipated this will happen. Yunha replies that the blood demon is a god to the blood sect, a god capable of miracles. Thus, she merely recognized the true blood demon. The elders look at Irun, and Iroun also looks at them, remembering the face of his master, who called them poor things. The first elder, who didn't fight and gang up on Iroun, moves forward. The left protector shouts at the first elder, telling him to stop. He can't fathom why the first elder will do such a thing. But to his surprise, the elder calls Iroun the blood demon and bows down his head. 10,000 years, blood demon. Long live the blood demon. They shout and repeat the same phrase again and again while bowing down. Iroun thinks that they are the same as him, the ashes that remain after the burning, just as he lost everything and dreamt of revenge. They must have barely lived on, longing for a new blood demon. He realizes that it's his duty as his master's disciple to repay them for their patience. Blood comes from Iron's eyes and flows to his entire body as he transforms to show the people of the blood sect the true pinnacle of the blood demon. The left protector and the others get to see what they were yearning for decades to come, the true god of the blood sect. Iroun walks towards them and tells them to get up, and he hates this. The first elder says that it's what the laws says, so they have to do this. Irun then tells the priestess to explain that the law is. Yunha stands up and says that the words of the blood demon is the law, and Eve member must follow this. Hearing this, Irun orders the elders to get up. The elders get it and abides by his orders. The fake blood demon is still alive. Seeing this, the third elder gets angry and takes out his sword to finish him. Irun stops him and tells to leave the old man alone, as he is good as dead. Irun looks at the old man's face and feels sorry as the old man is completely broken. He is also annoyed as he can't get info from him about the divine faction. Stelder get nervous hearing this, and asked if he means that this old man had connections with the Heaven faction. Lee Iround tells them to watch. He then points out 2 of his fingers and pinched the acupuncture points of the old man. The elders are shocked. Afterwards, the old man's body starts to react and shake. The bones in the body starts to readjust. Seeing the process, the member of the cult get that it's the reverse dragon art. The old man's body turns black, and he is dead. The members are shocked as they, and even the previous blood demon, couldn't recognize this before. They feel shame for this. Irun looks at Han Cheol and says that it's the work of the Heaven faction, and this is a martial art that lets them change their body as they wish without getting caught. Hearing the description, Han Cheol gets that Irun is taking about the heavenly demon art. He asked Irun that how he knows about it. Irun taps his shoulder and tells him that they will talk about this later. Irun then orders the priestess to take him to the blood pool. Yunha takes Irun to the blood pool. As he enters, Irun feels an immense amount of energy. They arrived in front of the pool. Yunha tells him that this pool is made with the blood of all the members of the cult. And this is the place where the blood sect leader offers their blood and performs the blessing ceremony upon their enthronement. She then tells Irun to get dressed into the ceremonial dress and start the ritual. Irun tells her to skip that as he don't like this formalities. Irun then asked Yunha that what she thinks of a god. She smiles and replies that the blood demon who has manifested in front of her is the true god. Did you think I was expecting an answer like that? What do regular people consider to be a god? That's what I'm asking. What does it take to be a god? Irun says. Yunha says, if he wants the definition of God, a god is a transcendent being who grants human wishes and allows them to lead glorious lives. Irun says that she is absolutely right. But why he is called a god? He only busted the elder's head as a punishment. But does only giving punishment make you a god? Irun asked. Yunha tells him that the fact that he can control blood arts is more than enough to make him a god. Irun walks closer to the pool and tells Yunha that she don't understand, as nobody ever show her that. Irun then puts a blood of his blood in the pool and tells Yunha to watch closely that why he is called God. As the blood touches the blood in the pool, the whole place starts to shake. Irun closes his eyes and he can feel everyone in this blood citadel. As he opens his eyes, a twister starts in the pool. Yunha is pushed back, and she says that she has never seen this before. Irun says that this is a new technique that doesn't exist during Master Mu Wang's period. Over the time, Mu Wang updates the arts, and he taught Li Iroun the latest arts. Mu Wang hears from Mao that the demon arts of his resembles a spell used by a destroyed race of Gehenna. So with some help from Mao, he updates the arts. He tells Irun to use this art, and he will see. Its amazing effects. The twister gets bigger. The new blood demon arts are both martial arts and a spell. The blood technique is the foundation that supports the blood demon art. Irun raises his hand and controls the twister. He tells Yunha that as he is a god, he should also give blessings, and that's what he is about to do. Irun closes his palm and the twister explodes. The blood falls like rain. Yunha and Irun is covered in blood. Yunha is shocked. She asked Irun that what is happening. As she says this, she falls on her knees and she feels that immense energy is surging through her body. Iran tells her not to worry, as everything will be better after they wake up from a small nap. Yunha then falls on the ground and sleeps. The scenario of outside is also same. Everyone fall asleep. After a while, everyone wakes up and they have gotten younger. The elders bow their head in front of Iran to praise him for this blessing. Everyone gets younger and physically stronger. They also got the red eyes, which is the symbol of the blood cult. Iran then orders the third elder to cut his finger, as show his blood. The elder does so. After seeing his blood, the elder and the others get shocked. The red blood of the third elder has turned purple. Iran tells them that it's called the purple blood. He asks the elder if he knows anything about this. Her elder replies that he doesn't know about the purple blood, but after he wake up, he feels that he has twice the amount of internal energy he had before. Iran says that their power gain will depend on the level they had before. And like him, the left protector, Han Cheol, and the first elder is also at the stage of purple blood. But the priestess is in the stage of black blood, which is the next stage of purple blood. Hearing this, Yunha gets shocked. She asks that the elders had a high martial arts achievements than her, so why she is at a higher level than them. Iran says that the reason behind this could be connected to the fact that she is a priestess, and her strength is directly influenced by him. Iran also says that this is a new ability of the blood demon divine art. And from now on, those who learn the blood arts and join the blood cult will gain power, but become bound to him in return. After that, Iran gets up and says that he wants to see how the other members of the cult are doing. Han Cheol tells him to follow him as he know a place with a great view. Yoren and the elders go to the top of the building. Iran looks at all the members and see that they are full of energy. Even the sick ones are fully healed. Iran tells Han Cheol that they still have the problem with money. They don't have enough money to sustain them. The elders lowers their head and apologize to Iran and says that it's their fault that the cult is in so bad shape. Iran tells them that it's not their fault, it's the work of the previous blood demon and the dead elders. Iran gets mad thinking about them. He then asked Han Cheol that if it is truth that they can't hold out even until the next month, that is true. We've already sold off even the shares in Ganga Group. The guild is on the brink of disbandment. We had plans to clear a few gates, but then the blood demon appeared. Han Cheol says this. Hearing this, Iran looks at the sky and questioned his master that why did he leave him with this people. Han Cheol then tells Iran that the most urgent issue is the lack of elders. The first elder was in charge of the Blood Sword Palace, the second elder, the Blood Gold Palace. Each palace had its role, and each elder was its leader. But with all the elders dead, there's no one left to fulfill those roles. Iran tells him to just promote the deputy palace leaders what used to work under the elders. Han Cheol tells Iran that the deputy leaders also follow the path of the dead elders, and this means that they should be executed as they disobeyed the true blood demon. Iran orders them not to execute them as it will reduce the size of their own force. Han Cheol tries to explain Iran that it is good to uproot the seeds of rebellion early. Iran tells the elders that they won't be able to stand in front of him, so he tells them to do as he orders. The left guardian bows and says that he understands. Iran then tells the left guardian to become the cult leader. Han Cheol is so shocked that he left his mouth quite open. Iran asked what the matter. Han Cheol asked how can he be the cult leader. Iran says, the cult leader isn't the blood demon. It's just that until now, no one capable of properly fulfilling the blood demon's role had appeared. It's only natural to separate the roles of God and leader. Even though Ganga Group is falling apart, it was a place doomed to fail anyway. The left guardian has managed to sustain Ganga Group for decades, and above all cares deeply for the blood cult, doesn't he? You understand both the outside world and the Blood King's castle? Well, it's only right that you become the cult leader. The other two elders agrees with Iran. Han Cheol don't have another way, so he agrees to be the cult leader. He bow down in front of Iran and says that he will deliver result befitting of this huge responsibility. Iran gets closer to Han Cheol and says that he is now acting like a leader. Iran then gives an intimidating look and asked Han Cheol that as now he is the leader of the cult, how he is going to solve the issue of the income source. Han Cheol and the elders stood silent, and they have no idea what to say. At that time, Yunhei comes and tells Iran that she has a way and tells to leave this matter to her. Yunhei tells Iran that she may not know the Blood Castle situation as well as her grandfather, but when it comes to outside matter, no one is capable than her. She requests Iran to give her 1 week and she will solve the urgent problems. Seeing her ability to manage a guild alone, Irun also thinks that she will be the best person to solve this. He then gives Yunha the full authority and tells her to solve this matters quickly. 1 week later, we can see Unha has come to Iran's room with a report. She tells Iran that she sold all the shares and assets of the Gangha group. Iran gets a shock hearing this news. Iran is confused, so he asked Yuna if it was necessary to sold them. Yuna says that Gangha group had already fulfilled its role. They've sealed off the entrance to the Blood King's castle and devised a way to maintain their identities. Since a significant portion of the shares had already been sold off, continuing to grow Gangha group would only benefit others. Over time, it would become harder to even get a fair price for it. So, she liquidated it. Hearing this, Iran gets the situation and praises her for her correct decisions. Yunha also says that she has also disposed the guilds. Even the guilds, Iran asked. She replies that their guild has been exposed to Hwasun, so she thought that it would be better to start anew. Hearing Hwasun's name, Iran thinks of his revenge, but after give a second thought, he gets that if he fights with Hwasun now, there is a greater chance that the Blood King's castle will be destroyed. So for the time being, he decides to avoid them. He then focuses the Yuna's words and asked what he means by starting new. She tells Iran that she plans to create a new guild, a completely new guild, with a brand new identity starting from scratch. With knowing that with so many established factions, it's nearly impossible and reckless, but she thinks that it is possible as the blood cult is not the same as before. Iran stops her and says that even though the blood cult has gotten stronger, but still they are struggling to survive. Yunha falls on her knees and seems nervous. Iran tells her that the cultists lack far too much experience in fighting with people. Yunha lowers her head and says that the blood god is right. Iran tells her not to worry as they will gain experience and there is a way to get stronger. Yunha asked Iran how they can grow stronger. Iran tells her that he will tell that in the right time, but for the time being, he asked Yunha if she has decided a name for the new guild. Yunha replies, of course, and says that the name of the guild will be King God, General Emperor Majesty Iran Guild. Hearing this, Iran tells her to drop it. He then thinks and tells Yunha to name the guild after her name. Yunha asked why her name. Iran says that as she will be the guild leader, so it's appropriate that the guild is after her name. Yunha says that who can she be the leader when the blood god is there? Iran says, you really get dumb at moments like this. Did you forget who I am? I can't operate on the surface. You're the right choice as the new guild leader, since your identity and face are completely hidden. Hwasun probably hasn't completely given up on tracking me yet. After that, we can see Eunha and the cultist has gone inside a D-rank gate in Namyangju. The cultists are killing zombie-like monsters. They kills most of the monsters. A big zombie appears and a member attacks it, but he gets overpowered by the zombie. Lady Yunha comes to his aid and slices the zombie into pieces. She then tells the guy to coat his weapon with holy water if he wants to kill this type of monsters. The other members kills the other zombies and clears the area. Yunha then order everyone to begin the act. The members get down and put their hand on the blood of the monsters. The cultists are performing blood demon absorption art. This is the symbolic art of the blood god. Iroun tells Yunha to pass this technique to the cultist. Yunha refused to do this at first, as this art only belongs to the blood god. Iroun ensures Yunha that there will be no problem, as all the members of the cult are connected to him. The members absorb the blood of the monster and get stronger. Later at night, Iroun goes to the underground bar. The Yunha guild has made a name for them. Everyone in the bar is talking about them. The Hwasan guild also hears this, and sent the leader of the Crimson Plum Blossom crop to investigate the situation. Iroun gets inside and walks straight to the bartender. The man recognizes Iroun and tells him not to hold any grudge from the previous mission. He offers Iroun a drink and says that this type of incidents occurs regularly. Iroun drinks and puts the cup on the table. The man asked Irun if he has ended up joining the cult. He also tells that Heir Black City maintains close ties with the blood cult. The man asked if he is here with a matter of the cult. Iroun tells him to thinks what he thinks. Iroun then gets to the main talk and tells the man to give him access to the darknets. The man gives a serious look and says that Iroun don't have the authority to make this kind of request. Iroun then throws a badge in front of the man. The man takes the badge, and after inspecting it up close, he gets shocked and asked Iroun if he a grand elder of the cult. Iroun replies that he is, and the badge is the proof. The man then tells Iroun that he can access the darknets, but he has to pay dearly for that. Iroun says that he will pay with an information. The man seems tensed and asked what's the information. Iroun tells that the leader of the blood cult has been replaced. The man gets shocked and shouts that it's impossible. Iroun smiles and says, "How did he know that it's impossible? Is he a person, so has all the info of the Blood King's castle?" Iroun then uses his blood arts and threatens the man if there is an informer of his who sneak into the Blood King's castle. The man asked Iroun if he is aware of the thing he is doing. Iroun ignores him and questioned if he was an elder or a member of the blood sect. The man is nervous. He closely moves his hand to grab the knife hidden under the table. The man sitting behind Iroun notices this and gets ready to make a move. The bartender also grabs the sword and is about to strike. But Iroun withdraws and says there is no point in going forward. He then asks the man about the authority of the Darknet. The man takes a deep breath and tells Iroun that he can't give him the authority. He has to report this matter to the higher-ups. Iroun says that, predicted that much, he then requests that he wants to meet the Black King. Hearing this, all the men in the bar gets on the edge. The moves quickly and points their swords on Iroun's neck. The bartender tells him that he is really crossing the line. The man threatens Iroun, saying if he utters that name, he will not survive from here. Iroun asked, "That's the fuss. It's just a name." The bartender tells that his position as an elder in the blood sect seems a lie, as he don't even know anything. The man looks serious and asked Iroun if he really is not from the blood sect, so what's his real purpose in coming here? The man also ensures that he will let him go in peace if he speaks the truth. As the man's sword touches Iroun's neck, blood starts to flow. The flow gets in the sword and travels towards the man's hand. As the blood comes in contact with the bartender, he feels a shape pain in this head. The man's body starts to shake and his veins budge out. Iroun then says that the blood of the true blood sect is immune to all poisons. It means poison dissolved in whiskey is meaningless, and that poison, which is immune to all toxins, can also become a fatal and deadly poison. The man can't even talk. The other men in the bar starts to attack. Iroun tells them to stop, as he has not come here to kill them. He don't want the relationship between the blood sect and the Black King to break. Iroun asks the bartender if now he is able to meet the Black King. The men didn't back off, so Iroun plays a little trick to scare them. He also says that the Black King is helping the blood sect because the former blood demon saved his life. Iroun uses his blood and makes small needles with his blood and surrounds the men in the bar and declares that he is the new blood demon of the blood cult. Hearing this, the bartender starts to sweet. At that time, voice comes, which says, to bring Iroun in. Iroun smiles and says, "You have been watching, King. Round then takes all his blood back. The bartender feels relief. Round then orders the bartender to guide him to the king. The bartender then takes Round to a club. As they walks to the inner part of the club, the bartender looks at Round's relaxed face and wonder why is he so carefree even though he is the leader of a collapsing sect. In front of the Black King who rules the darkness across the entire Asian continent, Round is just an ant. The bartender can't gasp it why the Black King wants to meet this type of man himself. The two of them gets in front of a gate which is guarded by big men. The men stops the bartender and said he can't go. The bartender tells Round to go this way and bids him good luck. The guard then opens the gate and tells Round to follow him. They starts to climb the stairs. While walking, Round gasp, the power level of the guards and the people dancing in the club are all high ranks of the black sect. After a while, the guard stops and tells Round to walk to that door. Many guards are standing there. Round walks through them, and as he touched the door, he gets teleported to a room. In that white room, a young man is sitting on the sofa. The man apologizes to Round for teleporting him. He says this: "It is a security measure as he is an important figure." After that, the man welcomes Round and introduces himself as the Black King.